niya. Tara, ano tayo?
Exercise, jogging, and dancing. Suppose we have function of two variables, referring to the position of a man from a certain place and area. We now have the variable x and y. Suppose that we pick one value for x, and we keep x at this one value, as we change the value for y, and vice versa. From this, we can find the rate of change. In the case of exercising, jogging, dancing, or simply moving from a place to another, may plot its rate of change by applying to calculus to find it. To find the rate of change, first, let y minus y sub 1 over x minus x sub 1 is equal to the rate of change. Then plot the corresponding points by which a man is moving from a place to another. Y minus y sub 1 over x minus x sub 1 is equal y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Points, man moving from a place to another. Example, moving a man from point 2.5 and 1.7 to point 3.5 and 4.3. Then, plot into Cartesian plane. 2.5 and 1.7. 3.5 and 4.3. Let y minus y sub 1 over x minus x sub 1 equal y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Y minus 1.7 over x minus 2.5 equal 4.3 minus 1.7 over 3.5 minus 2.5. Y minus 1.7 over x minus 2.5 equal 2.6 over 1. Cross multiplication. Y minus 1.7 times 1 equal x minus 2.5 times 2.6. Transpose y minus 1.7 equal 2.6x minus 6.5. Y equal 2.6x minus 4.8 total
Siyempre!
1, 2, 3.
Kung kaya lang akit ako dito.
Di ba ba? Di ba kababa?
Kasi 45 lang kilo ko.
Oh, 45 ako 16.
Ay, so kulang lang ng
16 kilos para mag-balance tayo. Wait, tama ba ako? Ow! Sakit.
Tama yung ginagawa natin.
Hindi ko alam.
Para makuha ang rate of change, kailangan muna nating i-plot ang mga points sa Cartesian plane. First, let's plot point 1 and 1. Point 2 and 2. Point 3 and 3. Point 4 and 4. Point 5 and 5. Point 6 and 6. Point 7 and 6.5. Point 8 and 6.7. Point 9 and 6.7. Point 10 and 6.5. Point 11 and 6. Point 12 and 5. Point 14. Point 13 and 4. Point 14 and 3. Point 15 and 2. And last, point 16 and 1. Here is the solution to find the rate of change. First, let y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1 equal y minus y sub 1 over x minus x sub 1. First, second, let's substitute the points to the equation. Meron tayong point 1 and 1 and point 2 and 2. Let's substitute. X sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, and y sub 2. Y sub 2 is 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1 is equal to y minus y sub 1 over x minus x sub 1. Then equate 1 is equal to y minus 1 over x minus 1. Then cross multiply. X minus 1 is equal to y minus 1. And after that, transpose negative 1 to the other side. So, x plus 1 minus 1 is equal to y. Then equate, meron na lang tayong x is equal to y or y is equal to x. Tawag dito ay equation of the curve. Then after natin makuha ang equation of the curve, let's derive y is equal to x. So, y prime is equal to derivative of x with respect to x is equal to 1. Ito na yung isa. Let's substitute point 3 and 3 and point 4 and 4. So, sundan lang natin yung formula, which is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1 equals y minus y sub 1 over x minus x sub 1. So, substitute yung x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. Y sub 2, 4 minus y sub 1, which is 3 over x sub 2, 4 minus x sub 1, 3 equals y minus y sub 1 over x minus 3. Then, equate, yung 1 is equal to y minus 3, x minus 3. Then, cross multiply, x minus 3 is equal to y minus 3. Then, transpose the negative 3 to the other side. Then, x plus 3 minus 3 is equal to y. Sagot is x is equal to y or y is equal to x. Ito, nakuha na natin yung equation of the curve. And para makuha natin yung rate of change, kailangan natin i-derive yung y is equal to x. So, y prime is equal to the derivative of x with respect to x is equal to 1. Point 5 and 5 and point 6 and 6. Then, y sub 2, 6 minus y sub 1, which is 5, over x sub 2, which is 6, minus x sub 1, which is 5, equals y minus y sub 1, which is 5, over x minus x sub 1, which is also 5. Then, solve 1 is equal to y minus 5 over x minus 5. Then, cross multiply x minus 5 is equal to y minus 5. Then, transpose the negative 5 to the other side. So, x plus 5 minus 5 is equal to y. Then, solve x is equal to y, or y is equal to x. And let's derive the y is equal to x. So, y prime is equal to derivative of x with respect to x and that is equal to 1. Final answer. Next point is point 7 and 6.5 and point 8 and 6.7. Let's substitute these points to the equation. So first, this is the x sub 1 and this is the y sub 1, x sub 2 and y sub 2. So y sub 2, which is 6.7, minus y sub 1, which is 6.5, over x sub 2, which is 8, minus x sub 1, which is 7, equals y minus y sub 1, which is 6.5, over x minus x sub 1, which is 7, is equal to 6.7 minus 6.5 is equal to 0.2 over 8 minus 7, 1, then copy 6.5, then cross multiply. So, magkakaroon tayo ng 0.2x minus 1.4 equals y minus 6.5. Then, transpose the negative 6.5 to the other side. So, magiging 0.2x plus 6.5 minus 1.4 equals y. Then, equate 0.2x plus 5.1 is equal to 1, y. Then, ito na yung equation of the curve natin. Then, para makuha natin ang rate of change, kailangan natin i-derive itong equation of the curve. So, meron tayong equation na y is equal to 0.2x plus 5.1. So, y prime is equal to the derivative of 0.2x with respect to x plus the derivative of 5.1 with respect to x. Then, then solve. Y prime is equal to 0.2 plus the derivative of 5.1 is 0. Then, this is the final answer. Point is point 9 and 6.7 and point 10 and 6.5. Then, gagawin lang natin, substitute ulit. So, x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. Y sub 2, which is 6.5, minus y sub 1, which is 6.7, over x sub 2, which is 10, minus x sub 1, which is 9. Then, equals to y minus 6.7 over x minus 9, which is the x sub 1. So, solve 6.5 minus 6.7 is equal to negative 0.2 over 10 minus 1 is equal to 1. Then copy. 9. Then cross multiply again. So, negative 0.2 x minus 1.8 is equal to y minus 6.7. Then transpose negative 6.7 to the other side. So, magkakaroon tayo ng negative 0.2x plus 6.7 minus 1.8 is equal to y. Then magiging y is equal to negative 0.2x plus 6.7 minus 1.8 is equal to 4.9. So, nakuha na natin yung equation of the curve. Let's derive this para makuha yung rate of change. So, y prime is equal to the derivative of negative 0.2x with respect to x plus the derivative of 4.9 with respect to x is equal to negative 0.2 plus the derivative of 4.9, which is 0. Then solve. Y prime is equal to negative 0.2 point 11 and 6 and point 12 and 5. X of 1, X of 2. Let's substitute these points to the equation. So y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1 equals y minus y sub 1 over x minus x sub 1. And then 5 minus 6 is equal to negative 1 over 12 minus 11 is equal to 1. And copy. And then cross multiply. Magiging negative x plus 11 is equal to y minus 6. Then transpose the negative 6 to the other side, which is negative x plus 6 plus 11 is equal to y. And equate. Meron tayong negative x plus 17 is equal to 1. So, nakuha na natin yung equation of the curve. Then, let's derive this equation. So, meron tayong equation of y is equal to negative x plus 17. Y prime is equal to the derivative of negative x with respect to x plus the derivative of 17 with respect to x equal to the derivative of negative x is equal to negative 1 plus the derivative of 17 is equal to 0. And the final answer is negative 1. Point 13 and 4 and point 14 and 3. So let's substitute these points to the equation. Y sub 2, which is 3, minus y sub 1, which is 4, over x sub 2, which is 14, minus x sub 1, which is 13, is equal to y minus y sub 1, which is 4, over x minus x sub 1, which is 3. Then solve. 3 minus 4 is equal to negative 1, over 14 minus 3 is 1, is equal to y minus 4, over x minus 13. Then cross multiply. So, negative x plus 13 is equal to y minus 4. Then, transpose the negative 4 to the other side. Negative x plus 4 plus 13 is equal to y. Then solve. Negative x plus 17 is equal to y. Nakuha na natin yung equation of the curve. So, let's derive this equation. So, y is equal to negative x plus 17. Y prime is equal to the derivative of negative x with respect to x plus the derivative of 17 with respect to x. The derivative of negative x with respect to x is equal to 1 plus the derivative of negative 17, the derivative of 17 with respect to x is equal to 0. Then solve. Y prime is equal to negative 1. Last point to be solved. Point 15 and 2 and point 16 and 1. Substitute natin to sa equation. So, y sub 2, which is 1, minus y sub 1, which is 2, over x sub 2, which is 16, minus x sub 1, which is 15, equals y minus y sub 1, which is 2 over x minus x sub 2, which is 15.
Yung dun sa pangalagayan
Then,
sa yung may push.
1 minus 2,
Yung cabinet dun sa baba.
negative 1 over 16 minus 15 is 1 is equal to copy x minus 15. Then cross multiply. Negative x plus 15 is equal to y minus 2. Then transpose the negative 2 to the other side. Negative x plus 2 plus 15 is equal to y. So magkakaroon tayo na y is equal to negative x plus 2 plus 15 is equal to 17. Then, ito na yung equation ng curve natin. So, para yung equation ng curve, kailangan natin siyang i-derive. So, ito yung equation. So, y prime is equal to the derivative of negative x with respect to x plus the derivative of 17 with respect to x is equal to the derivative of negative x is negative 1 plus the derivative of the derivative of 17 is 0. So the final answer is negative 1.
Alam mo ba, mali yung pagpalo mo. Paano ba? Ganito. Ganyan pala.
To perform early and to play the game, player A and B must find the rate of change or velocity of the shuttlecock from point 0.5 to 1 to point 1 to 2, 1.5 to 3, 2 to 4, and 2.5 to 5. We can now find the rate of change or velocity of shuttlecock. Now let's find the rate of change or velocity of shuttlecock from point 0.5 to 1 to point 1 to 2. Let's y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1 is equal to y minus y sub 1 over x minus x sub 1. 2 minus 1 over 1 minus 0.5 is equal to y minus 1 over x minus 0.5. 1 over 0.5 is equal to y minus 1 over x minus 0.5. Cross multiplication. X is minus 0.5 equal 0.5y minus 0.5. Transpose 0.5y is equal to x minus 0.5 plus 0.5. 0.5y over 0.5 is equal to x over 0.5. Then cancel. Y is equal to x over 0.5. This is the final answer. Now differentiate to find the rate of change or velocity of shuttlecock. Y is equal to x over 0.5 by using the quotient rule. Y prime is equal to 1 over 0.5. Then y prime is equal to 2 meters per second. Final answer. Therefore, in the speed of 2 meters per second, player B must hit the ball at the time when 3 seconds have passed with a distance of 6 meters from its opponent to play the game and perform the rally.
Simula ng araw ng masaya, tara-tara sumayaw ng pampasigla.